This is the story of a unique journey of discovery.
This one on the starboard bow.
To the most remote wilderness in the world.
You can't grow tired of this view, can you?
Not at all. Every day it's different.
I'm the only journalist on board with British scientists sailing into the Antarctic winter.
Gee, aren't you going to be cold?
Just a little bit.
Join them and me as we see for ourselves the impact of climate change.
Oh, God.
And marvel at the beauty of this frozen wonderland. At the southern tip of Chile is the city of Punta Arenas, the setting off point for Antarctic adventurers for more than a century. The big toe of the Magellan statue has been polished smooth by people rubbing it for good luck before heading to Antarctica. Almost all of those went during the warmer months. We're heading off in the middle of winter. We couldn't be on a better ship. You may recognise it as Boaty McBoatface, but this £200 million icebreaker is officially called the RRS Sir David Attenborough.
Your attention, please. The vessel is about to proceed to sea.
We set sail the next morning.
Keep going. A bit quicker.
Leaving behind civilization and sunshine.
We're going to be heading initially south, continuing east before out into the Drake's Passage, open ocean.
That's one of the deadliest stretches of water in the world, with waves whipped up to 12 metres high. Cameraman Mike fishing for the perfect pictures using a 360 degrees camera on a stick.
Don't drop it.
Well, don't say things like that.
It magically stitches together the images from two fisheye lenses
Pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
and even makes the pole disappear.
It's slightly odd when you get it stretched to that much. But
As we approach Antarctica, concentration increases as temperatures drop. The stairs to the bridge are lit red to keep the captain's night vision honed for spotting icebergs.
Well, there's lots of ice out there at the moment. How are you making sure we're not the next Titanic?
It's very easy to just have tunnel vision and be looking forward, and then you could often be taken by surprise when you pan the searchlight round and you see there's a massive iceberg there. So doing those sweeps really frequently is something that we do a lot of. Yes, it is clear to swing, Fergus. Thank you. You need to come to port a little more to clear the next one.
Whilst they stay on watch, I bed in for a nervous night of things going bump in the dark. As the sun finally rises the next morning at 11 AM, we get our first proper glimpse of Antarctica. A continent warming before our eyes. No British research ship has sailed this far south this late in the winter since Ernest Shackleton. His ship was crushed by ice. The very fact we can sail through these waters with relative ease is a warning shot across the bows of how our climate is changing.
Gee, aren't you going to be cold?
Just a little bit.
Bosun Dave has been making this journey for 39 years. Never this late in the winter.
What do you think it says about how much this place is changing, the fact we're making this journey in June?
In global warming kind of thing, it's pretty unusual. That's what I mean. I wouldn't believe we'd be down here this time of year.
In the last 30 years, Antarctica has lost an area of sea ice 6 times the size of the UK, and that's got climate scientists worried.
The implications of this are climatic, in that it affects how reflective the surface of the planet is, So the planet's now absorbing more heat from the sun than it used to. It also removes a protective barrier from around Antarctica and can actually contribute to the destabilisation of the ice sheets.
We see exactly that happen before our eyes. Mike and his colleague Rhiannon film Borgen Glacier carve hundreds of thousands of tons of ice.
Dust is ash from underneath.
They'd seen something similar in the summer,
Oh my God.
but didn't expect this in the winter.
To stand there and see it directly in front of us was incredible. It was really unexpected. It really hit home that we're seeing some rapid changes to the region and we don't know what the consequences of that will be.
The purpose of the trip,
So I'm going to switch this one on.
on board the UK's largest floating lab, is to understand more about how fast the ice is melting and why. We are now 750 miles from the nearest large ship, our crew of 60 making up 1/10 of all the humans on a continent 1.5 times the size of Europe. To show the scale, a drone has been invaluable. But flying it in freezing conditions, which drain the battery from a moving ship, isn't easy. Controls mastered, there was so much to film. Carving through Le Maire Channel is like sailing into a penguin-filled Narnia. Seals chilling out on the ice, appearing surprised that there's anybody else around. Whilst humpbacks appear to wave us on our way. It's a remarkable sight when you consider before the whaling ban in the 80s, these 40-ton titans were hunted close to oblivion. Now their biggest threat is from krill fishermen, so scientists like Hugh are mapping their movements.
To know where they are in total, any photo, most things are geolocated now. You can put all of those together, you can see where the whales are going, where that is relative to krill fisheries.
We arrive at Rothera, British Antarctic Survey's largest station in Antarctica. When your workspace is a wilderness as wild as this, scientists rely on a team of field guides to keep them safe.
You can't grow tired of this view, can you?
Not at all. Every day it's different. Yeah, pretty special, huh?
Unreal. But it's changing.
It's changing.
Jono and Vicky are trained mountaineers.
Just connecting to the GPS, ground penetrating radar. It scans across the snow, and what we look for is big voids in the glacier.
They're crevasses, snow-covered potential killers, which is why we need to rope up.
Oh, good, Vicky.
The guides say the warming climate is making their job much harder and more dangerous.
The rain softens the snowpack that's around the holes and therefore increases the risk of us falling into a crevasse.
Where the two red flags are, you can sort of see like a real vague track.
What's terrifying is, to the untrained eye, they're incredibly hard to spot.
It's pretty big. Yeah, have a peek inside. You're nice and tight, you're nice and safe.
Oy.
Every time we cross, we take a measurement of the wall itself to see if the wall's got wider of the crevasse.
It has, significantly.
Big step, yeah.
And it's not long until the radar picks up a whopper.
Where we have these arcs of lines here, that shows like a void there.
To see for myself just how big it is, I have a potentially stupid idea.
We're going to lower this in. Vicky's going to be my anchor, so I don't follow the camera in too. I tell you what, it's enormous. Right.
Luckily, we have 30 metres of rope.
Is it working?
Amazingly, it is.
How far have we gone so far?
I've gone down about maybe 15 metres.
It is vast.
Can you imagine falling down one of these things?
Time to quit
Okay,
while we're ahead.
we still have a camera.
Hey!
Yeah, big step over.
It's not just what's beneath our feet that's being impacted by the climate. Scientists are keeping a close eye below the waves too. How many species are there on the seabed?
There's around 20,000 species across Antarctica, and we are still discovering new species every year.
For decades, marine biologists like Patty have been studying the impact of ice crashing into the ocean. Bergs scour the seabed. Think of them as an underwater equivalent of a forest fire. As the temperature warms, we're seeing more ice calve.
A little bit of disturbance is good because it makes them stronger, it makes them grow back in numbers. Because it's more frequent, they just don't have the time to grow back.
To get a complete picture, you need to brave the icy water.
It's going to be cold. What's your hand warmer system like?
Gloves you cannot wear. Gloves like yours, Martin. I cannot operate the camera in those. Absolutely pointless. So fine gloves. So the only way of getting these remotely warm are double hand warmers there.
Yes.
Followed by extra heat packs in there.
We'd hoped to film diving into the ice, but that's not possible when leopard seals are around.
They're an apex predator, and they feed on the penguins, the birds around here. They will basically feed on anything that you can find.
On days like today, technology can help. This is a baited camera trap.
Anything that is caught by the GoPros will be counted and measured back in the UK.
These, of course, are penguins, but more than half of the underwater species down here haven't actually been named. It is a race against time to understand and protect them before many are lost.
I think slowly, piece by piece, every single person can make a difference.
We head back to base. Keeping people cosy, comfortable and feeling at home in one of the most inhospitable places on Earth is nearly as important as the scientific work.
Climbing wall.
Between them, Dave and Dave have been coming to Rotherham for 50 years.
Yeah. Having looked through here, Martin, you'll see the back of the door has been scratched quite heavily by the dogs that were here at the time.
Some quite big scratches there.
Yeah.
Some serious dogs.
Yeah.
It's not just the dogs which have become history. After half a century's service,
My favourite building on station, Dave. I don't know.
these buildings are being packed away.
It's going to be sad to say goodbye.
Yeah. It is, yeah. I think this is one of the most atmospheric buildings on station for sure, but things move on.
And this is where they're going. The 4,500 square metre Discovery Building.
This is the new operations tower, which replaces the old one you can see just across from me.
Think grand designs in the most remote place on Earth.
So we're now entering the medical centre. We're roughly 9,000 miles away from home, so we've got to be as well equipped as we can.
Imagine building something on this scale.
Wow, that is a big freezer.
When every single tool, tile and tin of paint has had to be shipped in 400 containers. Oh, and it can be -20.
Everything's a challenge, having the right stuff. The weather is a massive part, and just time, like you're so busy.
When you're completely alone for a third of the year, everything needs a backup, especially the generators.
Big pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's a good kind of pressure because everyone's together. Everyone, when something does go wrong, it's a lot of how can I help? How can we sort this out? It's not a well, good luck to you.
It's taken 6 years, but final decorating touches should be finished this winter.
It's fair to say the colour choices are bold.
It's the architect's idea to counteract the dark. Irrespective of paint colour, it's the buffet which brightens everyone's day. The flowers in the mess may be plastic, but there's nothing fake about the friendships forged here. The ship brought with it fruit and veg. It will be the last fresh food here until October. So it's up to head chef Ellis to eke it out.
Last minute cake, because I ran out of time to cook anything else.
with the help of anyone willing to muck in.
Get it washed.
Downtime is essential. There's a music room where the dress code is relaxed, gym, and even a bar to unwind.
The weeks, months just roll into one. So, yeah, you need this time to just unwind and relax.
We're heading towards midwinter, when you only get a couple of hours of twilight. It's a big deal down here, so they celebrate it like Christmas, exchanging gifts which have to be made because there are no shops for 1,000 miles.
This was an old battered up sledge box that had to do some wood filling on, and then this here is from one of the Nansen sledges themselves. So
it's a lamp, perfect for those long nights.
How important are traditions like this?
I think really, really important that we all look after each other through our various jobs, so I think it's just a way of showing some appreciation.
There were 160 on station in the summer, now it's dropping to 42, including Eloise for her first polar winter.
What's it going to be like when you're stood on the wharf and you see that ship pull away?
Quite daunting, quite scary. No one's in or out anymore, which is so cool. Like, that's the whole point of being here. But yeah, we're truly alone after tomorrow.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Just time for a last sing-song before everyone on the ship leaves.
Carton 1, 2, 3. Please won't you tell me who is she?
And just like that, it's time to say goodbye. As the ship pulls away, we take with us friends and the final link to home. Those left behind are now their own community, an artificial family drawn together in the dark. Back on the ship as we begin our slow journey home. It's not just the nights drawing in. Ice is thickening too.
Can you just let us know when we're about to hit this one on the starboard bow?
Clear now, Captain.
The underside of the hull is shaped like the bottom of a spoon, so it can rise up and smash through the sea ice. It can't, though, smash through the icebergs they're looking out for at the moment.
This bit that's dead ahead, or fine to port, I will just give it a nudge.
We're on our way to a place polar historians will know only too well.
We're heading to Elephant Island, which, as I'm sure you know, is where Shackleton's men were famously stranded from the Endurance expedition.
That was 109 years ago. The Endurance was trapped by pack ice, crushed and sank. The crew lived on the ice for nearly 2 years before finally being rescued.
I love reading about history in the polar regions whilst in the polar regions, but this trip is really extra special. The last British research ship to spend Midwinter's Day in Antarctica was Endurance, and now here we are, and we'll be at Elephant Island on Midwinter's Day.
A lot has changed. The ship is now steel, not wood, but they still need to prepare for the worst.
So this is our starboard lifeboat. It can take ideally 45 people, but if required, we have to put all 90 people and they can all fit in this one lifeboat.
Cosy is an understatement.
We've got food, we've got water, we've got first aid up here.
All mod cons here, Luke?
Yep, we even have toilets on this lifeboat. This is our driver's seat. It's very basic and it's a little bit tight.
So you can steer this, can you?
Yeah.
And I don't think you'd fancy sailing this across the open ocean.
No, not really.
A sleeping bag. Nice big jackets.
It's also not much use if the sea is frozen solid.
So if something goes wrong, all this stuff into the lifeboats or onto the ice?
Into the lifeboats or onto the ice, yes. And if we're on the ice, we've got these sledges and pulks that we can use to drag all the kits to a suitable campsite.
That includes tents.
Red one flash there.
And enough supplies to cope with -20 for 20 days.
So would you guys fancy being on here on the ice?
I'm glad we've got it, but preferably not.
What have we got in the bag?
So we've got some food, we've got some custard apple dessert, some water purification tablets, we've got a shovel for the eyes.
Is this if cannibalism kicks in here?
Yes, well that is an eyesore, but you know, it has dual purpose.
We joke, but that was the fate of the crew of the Arctic ships Erebus and Terror. But for all the adventure, this has been a journey of scientific discovery.
I've got it, ready to lower.
Watch fingers.
Will do.
Most of the important readings require specialist kit on the ship itself. This sediment corer takes samples of the sea floor.
Right, elastic's off.
What might to you and me look like mud is to Rhiannon a goldmine of data.
This is not just sediment. What we've previously seen is glaciers are really important in summer, providing food to the ocean nearby through meltwater. But what we've seen in winter this time is that it looks like there are different drivers of that food supply.
And that's important because it will help us better understand ocean life and the vital role it plays in storing carbon. The whole while, the ship has been mapping the sea floor. Measurements show ice walls can stretch 200 metres underwater, making them even more susceptible to warming waters than previously thought.
This is really new insight for us, and we can feed this into our computer simulations, and then we can use those computer models to better understand, better forecast how things are going to change down here as climate change progresses.
Science in Antarctica isn't easy or cheap. Its value is dependent on people listening to what's been found.
Martin, hi, can you see me all right?
I can. Good morning, Prime Minister. Apologies it's a little dark behind me, but that is the perils of polar winter, I'm afraid.
We even managed to interview the Prime Minister from on board the ship.
I do worry that the political consensus about net zero is breaking down. I do worry that that's happening domestically in the UK, and internationally that global leadership isn't as strong as it once was, and that's why I think the UK has to step up into that space.
Have you personally spoken to Donald Trump and said, where are you on this?
Well, I've had a number of conversations with Donald Trump, as you would expect. I'm not going to disclose all of those.
And have you asked him directly about climate change?
We've discussed climate change on a number of occasions, as I've discussed with many global leaders.
Careful on the ice, Mike.
For Mike and me,
What could possibly go wrong?
through the ice, the wind, and the wildlife, it has been the journey of a lifetime. Experiencing Antarctica has certainly made me think. I wonder if I'm ever lucky enough to return, just how different this place will look.